arms. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our meeting today. I'd like to get us rolling and bring in our club Toastmaster for today, Miss Jenny Fink.
Not here, so we will need somebody to fill in.
What do you?
Hello everyone, my name is Michael Liu. In place of Jenny, I will be your Toastmaster for today. First, I would like to call upon the grammarian, Xavier Taylor, to introduce his role.
Thank you. As the grammarian, I will be taking note of everybody's language usage, including filler words and uses of the word of the day. The word of the day today is irate, is angry or arising from anger. An example of the word is, although his irate attitude was justified, John's fury outburst did nothing to diffuse the situation. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you for that introduction. I would now like to call on our timer for today, Jonathan, to introduce his roles.
Thank you, Toastmaster. But as timer, I will time the speakers' formal speeches and evaluations, and I'll alert each speaker for how much time they have left using my virtual background. Let me pull that up real quick. Table topic speakers will limit the remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I'll put up the green background. At 1:30, I'll put up the yellow one. And at 2 minutes, I'll put up the red background. For today's speeches, which are 5 to 7 minutes in length, at 5 minutes, I'll put up the green. At 6 minutes, I'll put up the yellow. At 7 minutes, I'll put up the red. And for the evaluations, at 2 minutes, I'll put up the green. At 2:30, the yellow. And at 3 minutes, the red virtual background. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you for that introduction. Since our first two speakers are not yet here, I would like to call upon the third evaluator for today, Toastmaster Horace Taylor, to introduce Eric's speech.
Yes, 1 second. Sure. Thank you so much. Let me pull it up. So Mr. Eric will be speaking on martial arts or wushu. He will walk us through his experience with martial art, and I'm sure he will share with us even some of the competitions that he's been in and his level of proficiency, whether it's gold medals, all gold medals, a few silver, or whatever the case may be. We will listen closely, and I will give you my evaluation at the end. I believe your speech is from 5 to 7 minutes, yes? Mr. Timer, are we ready? We are ready. Back to you. Well, Mr. Eric, the floor is yours.
I sent you like the PowerPoint.
1 second, let me share it. Yes, absolutely. Let me share it. And now sharing. Screen share. And go to screen share. And there you are.
It's supposed to be a black screen. Is it supposed to be a black screen?
Oh, is it black? Oh, that's weird.
I can't see that. Oh,
Maybe full screen. Full screen, yeah.
Let's see, full screen. So when I go to presentation, you can see the screen now, yes?
Yes.
But when I go to presentation, you only get a black screen, correct?
No, not an hour.
Okay, perfect. Let me know when to advance.
All right, you can. You can like go to the you can go to the next slide. Uh,
So it's advancing on my desktop. It's not advancing for you guys?
no.
Ah, okay then. Let's do it this way. You can see it now, yes?
Yes.
You just do it like
Yeah, I
without.
think that's fine.
Okay. I can't really see that. So can I like scoot up like a little bit?
Let me see if I can make it larger.
Oh.
View, zoom. Let's say 150. Did it change?
Oh, yeah, that was good. Okay. Yeah. Or maybe. Uh, sorry.
Alright.
Thank you.
Can you see it on there?
Yeah. All right. So what is wushu? Wushu is as a direct translate from English to Chinese means martial arts. Wushu was formed in around 3000 to 1200 BC from a man during the Bronze Age. Wushu has two main competitive events, Talo and Senda. Talo are forms composed of different movements, but Senda is like kind of like kicks or like kicking, boxing, or like MMA type stuff. In Talo events, there are different styles and weapons that you can use. For example, drunken style, Nanchuan, Tai Chi, spear, etc. Next. How are you scored in a competition? In Wushu, there can be a plethora of judges that look at your every move. Every competitor begins with 10 points, and points are then deducted by mistakes in movement, spacing, timing, etc. At the end of a team trial competition, there will be 4 men and 4 women who are chosen to represent the USA in the world's competition. In other competitions, such as the Pan Americans, they are the competitions that would determine whether or not you can go to a bigger competition or not. What are some pros of being a wushu athlete, and what are some cons? The first pro is that you can become. Oh, I'm gonna have to scoot up. The first pro is that you can become peaceful on the inside and also happy. A study proved that when you're in a bad mood, exercising will drastically make you feel better. Another pro is that you can make new friends and meet a lot of cool people. You can also look very cool, especially in performances. A con is that you can be very tired or sore after intense training or a very big competition. The last con, in my opinion, is that equipment costs way too much. For example, my staff was $150, my broadsword was $90, and my shoes are $70. The most expensive thing in Wushu is probably traveling. Traveling in classes can cost thousands of dollars. How was my experience at previous competitions? My experience was amazing. I've become great friends with some of the top USA Wushu athletes, and I've also trained with many great coaches. Leading up to a competition, I was put on a no junk food diet, and after the competition, I would be treated to a Lunchable from Walmart or the hotel concession shop. I've competed in team trials, in which I won 1 gold, 2 silvers, Pan Americans, 3 golds, International Invitational Orlando competition, 1 gold, some random China competition, 3 gold, 1 silver, 9th US International Wushu Kung Fu Tournament / 2018 USA WKF National Traditional Wushu Team Trials, which was age group champion. Next slide. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you for that excellent list of your accomplishments, Eric. I never knew you were so talented. My respects to you. Okay. Since our first speaker is now here, I would like to call upon Tim to introduce the first speaker. Okay.
I can do.
Yeah, okay.
I can try mine too. Actually, I've been practicing. Unless you're here.
Yeah.
Okay, so instead of Kuhn, Peter will now speak, and his evaluator will be Miss Anna, who will introduce the speaker.
Hello, everyone. I'm Peter She's evaluator today. Peter's project is project number 8 of the CC manual. This project is get comfortable with visual aids. The objectives are select visual aids that are appropriate for your message and audience. Use visual aids correctly with ease and confidence. Time is 5 to 7 minutes. Let's welcome Peter.
I'm going to project my.
I can do this.
No, I was gonna put it right here. Okay. All right. So, all right. So my presentation is game theory and its implications. So I don't know if any of y'all know what game theory is. As a aspiring business leader as himself, I came across a video, and game theory is essentially, in practical terms, a mathematical model of strategic interactions between rational agents. That might seem quite complex when you read it one time, but in simpler terms, it's basically using mathematical models and studies in order to see what decision is best made in the heat of the moment. 2 examples can be something a little bit lighter. Say you're going to a traffic light and a yellow light is there. Do you speed up or do you slow down? You can speed up to make it, or you can slow down and be a good law-abiding citizen and not run the red light. However, there are many implications to this simple problem on the surface. Say you are late to a really important business meeting, you might want to step on that gas and perhaps make the red light. Or if you don't have anything, then you would rather slow down and abide by the law. A bigger problem would be the Cold War, as I'm sure all of y'all know what the Cold War was. And there have been many studies using game theory in order to see how the US or the Soviet Union should have responded in such situations. And this is Robert Axel. Now, he had a study which is called, widely known in business terms, as the prisoner dilemma. And this was basically a study where he set up a big old game, and computer scientists around the world set in codes in order to see which one would win. And there are a couple of rules as seen on the screen right here. So 1, if both players are praised, both get 3 points. If both players defect, then each only get 1 point. Now, if one player defects and the other appraises, the player that defects gets 5, and the one that appraises gets 1 point. And the goal is to win as much as possible. In the end, the winner was this code called tit for tat, where they would appraise until the opponent defects. However, it would defect immediately after the opponent defects, but it would also go back to appraising if the opponent appraises. But one might ask, why this? Why did this win? Because essentially, if you put 2 1-on-1, wouldn't the best scenario just be to defect every single time? If I defect every single time, then I'm guaranteed either a tie or a victory in a 1-on-1 setting. Well, it turned out that in order to get the most amount of points possible, not just in a 1-on-1, but overall, there are 4 qualities that stood out. That being nice, or not being first to defect, forgiving, one that can retaliate, but does not let past decisions affect his decisions. Retaliatory, which will strike back immediately, and clear, which is very easy to understand. Oh, sure. So I believe so. How does this apply to us? Well, many can say that these 4 qualities can be applied to our lives. See, when we go into a situation or a problem or an encounter where we have to get over the edge, I believe that it is necessary for us to remember these 4 steps. Being nice, not being first to defect. Obviously, don't bring up the problem. Don't be the cause of the root of the problem. Being forgiving, someone who can forget about the past decisions and just focus on the future in order to be better for upcoming events. And also not being a pushover. If tit for tat, for example, just continue to appraise, no matter if they defected, it would almost never get points, obviously. But if you're retaliatory and strike back immediately, you're not being a pushover. And this can apply to real life. Say someone's bullying you. Obviously, you don't let that slide. So you have to retaliate immediately. So you tell them and you stand your ground instead of letting them push you over. And lastly, of course, being clear and easy to understand. Of course, these were computer codes. So being clear and easy to understand was the best option in order to win in this scenario. However, this can be easily applied to humans. As humans, although we're so complex and we have so much going on in our minds, it is very impactful and very good to be clear and concise when approaching a problem. And the second thing that was found in this study was the importance of environment. Now, if you put tit for tat, for example, in an environment full of mean codes, aka the first to defect, it would effectively be the last place. It would not do good. However, if you put it into a nice environment, it would exceed beyond measures. So this goes to show the importance of environment in order to surround yourself with people who are striving for success. And that is it. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you for that very informative speech, Peter, on game theory. I will next like to call upon Owen to introduce our 3rd speaker.
Today, Mia Chen will be delivering a very engaging speech about IPC parallels to real life. Please welcome our 3rd speaker to the lecture.
So first of all, to explain what the IPC is, the IPC equals the Interstellar Peace Corporation, which comes from a game because I got really interested and now I'm stuck on it. So basically, in the game, the Interstellar Peace Corporation is considered to be a giant corporation that is meant to bring peace to universes across the world. So it's actually kind of ironic because they don't really follow that goal anymore because they have strayed off to make as much money as possible, basically making an entire monopoly of the worlds by exploiting universes, worlds, just to gain more materials to go give to their god, which is funny because the god is meant to preserve everyone. Their goal is to preserve, and they're not exactly doing that. They're more harming than doing good, which is funny. So to compare it to the real world, I wanted to make it seem like it's an actual corporation. So we'll just imagine it as this big corporation in the United States And then we think about the tiny little worlds as their smaller businesses, which is mostly known for people to like come and take like the bigger corporations come and take over the smaller corporations until everything's just basically made by the same company, which is interesting, I think. But the people there are in turn being turned into office workers or like any kind of employees they need at the moment, which means more exploitation for the bigger corporations. Money. A lot of this entire corporation thing is based off of money and very big money because the higher ups have like over millions and billions of credits to use as they seem fit, while the lower workers are actually pretty upset and they keep on complaining about how no matter how much they try, they can't climb up the corporate ladder. And then it's just interesting because most of the higher ups actually come from the places that they have taken over. So they were forced to climb the ladder so they could survive and make more money and hopefully turn their own little worlds around because they're just desperate to get on top and take control again, which is why they in turn become corporate slaves to the bigger corporation to spread the corporate news, which I don't really know how to compare that to anything. I guess you could compare it to Elon Musk, and he just bought Twitter, now X, fired like a few thousand employees. But then again, it's just comparisons. None of it is really real. And the future is scary. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you for that intriguing speech comparing a game to reality, Mia. I would now like to call upon Owen again for our table topic section for today.
As table topics master, I will be posing questions to members of the audience, and they will have 1 to 2 minutes to respond. So the first question is, if you could choose the word of the day for the next meeting, what would it be and why? And I'll ask that to Mr. Pendergrass.
Oh. Thank you, Toastmasters. That's a tough question, but I will not be irate in having to answer it. The word of the day for next week, if it's my choice. That's a tough one. You pick so many great ones every week. And on the spot, I can't think of a word of the day. But just one that we can fit in our sentences, we can practice, fits the theme. I can't even think of on the spot. I can't think. I would have to get a thesaurus out or Google some words. I'd have to prepare for it because I can't think of one, especially with the camera. Oh, I got you. Good idea. Predict would be the word of the day. And you could use it in exciting sentences and really bring some laughter to the club. Thank you, Toastmasters.
All right, the next question will be, what would you want to go down in history for? And I'll ask that question to Quinn.
So, if y'all have been online recently,
You probably know this person as Queso. Um, so he kind of gets fat shamed a lot, and like he get made fun of. That's kind of me too, but not really. So and I play video games too, but not a lot. So I could do like some streaming, and then like make some funny content, and then like a lot of people will remember me as like that one fat Asian that plays video games. Thank you, Toastmasters.
All right. Next question is, what would be the title of your autobiography and why? And I'll ask that to Miss Anna. Miss Anna.
That's a great question. What would be the title of my autobiography? I would say I will use a quote. The quote is, "The life is about not the rain, but dancing in the rain." Yeah. So why do we dance in the rain? Because it is more fun that way. Because you will get a new experience. You probably have never done that before. You didn't want to get wet. You didn't want to get crazy. You just probably feel comfortable, stay inside and sit by the fireplace and get warm. But if you just decide to, I'm gonna have a good new experience and get crazy and get wet in the rain, maybe with some music, that might be something I might enjoy. So yeah, that's what I would put on the title of my autobiography. And also use that as a motto. Life is a journey. Why not try new things? Thank you.
Thank you for that very interesting answer. All right. If you could live in any fictional world, what world would you live in? And I'll ask that question to Tim.
A fictional world that I'd prefer to live in. I haven't really thought about that much, but if I were to come up with one myself, I would say a world where I would not have to work. That sounds amazing. If I just don't have to work, and maybe if a world where, okay, I was gonna say a world where everything was free, but then again, that could cause other problems. But I guess just a world where you don't have to work. You can just kind of do whatever you want, lay around, be lazy, I guess, kind of sleep in all day. That sounds like an ideal world to me. But of course, you also need some kind of entertainment too, I guess, to not get bored all day sleeping. So I guess there would be forms of entertainment, probably books, TVs, everything like that. But my ideal world would just be somewhere you can just relax and just chill around. Thank you.
All right. If you could choose a famous person to have dinner with, who would it be and why? I'll ask that to Eric. Oh, wait, no, you gave a speech. I'll ask that to Michael.
Oh. If I had to choose a famous person to have dinner with and why? Well, this person might not be famous to a lot of you. Her name is Hilary Hahn, and she is a world-renowned classical violinist. Now, although a lot of people would argue she's not the most best one, naming people such as Isaac Perlman and I think not Joshua Bell. Anyway, basically differing opinions, but I still think she's a very cool person, especially from the videos I've seen of her with two-set violin on YouTube. I think that having a night to eat dinner with her would allow me to gain a lot of insight into the professional violinist world of soloists, and maybe even gain a few helpful tips on my playing to improve for the future. Also, by the way she is portrayed and the way she acts on videos and around other people, I think she's genuinely a very cool person. So that is why I would like to have dinner with Hillary Hunt. Thank you.
All right, that was a very intriguing answer. So, if a genie granted you 3 wishes, what would you wish for? I will ask that to Xavier Taylor.
Thank you for the question. If a genie could give me 3 wishes, what would I ask for? So first, I would ask for infinite money because I love money a lot. And although there aren't too many things I want to buy as of right now, still having infinite money for whenever I do want to get something would be nice. The second thing I'd wish for is the height of 6'6", so I could be the same height as Michael Jordan. And that leads me to my third wish. I wish to be or have the greatest basketball skill of all time so that I could become the next GOAT. And I wanted to be that way for a long time. So I think that would be my 3 wishes: infinite money, height of 6'6", and infinite basketball skill where I just be the best of the best of all time. Thank you for the question.
All right, and if if you owned a time machine, what year would you travel to? I will ask that to Mr. Eric Treat.
Would you repeat the question?
If you had a time machine, what year would you travel to?
Gavel, I'm Toastmasters. Not. I would travel to around the 1700s. My 12th great grandfather signed the charter for Connecticut to become one of the 13 colonies. And I think we, I think that would be nice to be in that time where our country was forming. And that my 12th great grandfather had a part in that. That is that's history for me. That would be the time I was living around the 15 or 1600s. Madam Mr. Topic Master.
Thank you for the response. And my next question is, what is your favorite book and why? I will ask that to Keisha Dancy.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Gavalier, for that question. That is a great question. My favorite book would be the book title Boys Breathe, an ABC Introduction to Self-Confidence and Self-Care. Why do I choose that book? I choose that book because that is the first book that I, as well as my grandson, co-wrote and published in February of 2022. It was the start of me having a publishing company and having an additional book that was published that was more of a mature note, and having 3 books in the pipes to be written or completed. So that is why I would choose that particular book, or this particular book, again, Boys Breathe, an ABC Introduction to Self-Confidence and Self-Care. Back to you, Gavalier, Table Topics Master.
Thank you for the response. And my next question will be, if you could relive one day in the past, what day would it be? I'll ask that to Mr. Horace Taylor.
Thank you for the question. If I could relive one day in the past, what day would that be? That's a difficult question because I have running through my mind at least 3 days. And I have running through my mind also, how can I merge the 3 into one day? Since I can't, I'll go with this day. The day that I would like to relive, for whatever reason, is my birth date, because that's when I finally joined the human society. I was birthed in a small room in a house, and look at me now. I'm about to be rebirthed, as in the opposite of birth. I'm getting ancient, right? I don't live forever, so I would like to be rebirthed, and if I can repeat that dream or that action again and again and again, I would be reborn every day, every day, every day. Thus, I would always be a little bitty baby, not be reborn in the sense of any religious aspect, but just being reborn over and over. Now, that probably wouldn't be too helpful for my mother, because she would have to go through all that strain and pain. But I'm sure at the end of it, she would like what she produced. Me, bing! And then she'll be right back into it. Oh, what's going on? Bing! Oh, what's going on? So it'll be a perpetual rebirthing of voila. Thank you, and back to you, sir.
Wait,
Bro.
oh, well then, that was a very fun table topic session, and I will now pass the virtual lectern to Tim for his evaluation.
He didn't evaluate.
Oh, sorry.
Good.
To
He could be the general
I
evaluator.
meant the general evaluator. I'm sorry.
Tim.
Yeah.
He can be. Tim, are you okay with being the general evaluator for today?
Evaluator.
General evaluator.
Let me see. Wait, what would I need to do for the general evaluation?
Just like say general meeting stuff, did it start on time?
Oh, I guess the first evaluator, I think we went in like backwards order today. So the first evaluator for the speaker, Eric, would be Horst Taylor.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Eric, that was, in my opinion, a wonderful presentation. I took down a whole page of notes that I have for you, so I will keep my eyes, I will try to watch the camera, but I will read what I have written. Again, a wonderful presentation, Wushu martial arts, or martial arts Eric style, yeah? Now, first and foremost, your voice clarity. You are quite clear. You know exactly what you want to say, and you don't have any problem saying it. Your vocal variety, however, I didn't catch the vocal variety, you know, where you're speaking softly, and if you're really going to stress a point, you might get a little bit loud, but that's okay, because at one point you move yourself, you reposition your body even closer, I believe, to the screen so that you could see, which was excellent. Your eye contact, from what I can see here, was spot on, was really good. And your gestures, I didn't catch a whole lot of gestures that helped to sell the story. And I do believe that the audience awareness and interest, you certainly kept my interest, and I believe their interest. And I think most important was the fact that you were very confident in displaying the presentation that featured you. Now, here's one item for improvement. When you have slides and you have the content on the slides, you may not, or you may reconsider whether you're going to read the slides every line verbatim, right? If you believe you're gonna, that's what you want to say to us, I would just leave the big picture items on the slides and maybe have a little notes pack in my hand and reading from that. That way, you're not reading to the audience when the audience may be looking at the slides, reading for themselves. Other than that, I really liked it. And in particular, your very last slide that showed you in that wonderful crane stand. I call it a crane stand, but I don't know what the stand is. You could have talked about that. You could have said, and guys, look at me. That's when I got my gold medal. That would have been really a wonderful and fun way to end that piece. That's my that's my evaluation. I really liked the speech. If you just decide to do it again, consider just taking out those big blocks of text that you are reading to us and just deliver, just let us hear that, and while we were watching the images on the screen. Wonderful speech. Thank you. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you. That was a wonderful evaluation. The next evaluator would be Miss Anna for evaluating Peter's speech.
Yes. Thank you, General Evaluator. Peter, your speech, game theory, that was very interesting. Yeah, I really like it. For the purpose of the speech, the be comfortable with visual aids, you are very comfortable. And I really like those visual aids because there are not many words. There are pictures and the bullet points, which is very concise, very attractive, and just very appropriate to deliver for your speech. So I think you nailed it, that objective in that speech. The second is, I like how you started. You started with official definition of the game theory, which is all the big words, and I have no clue what it's about. but you are also very savvy. You said, oh, okay, you're probably confused about this. So let me really explain what it means. So what that to me is just to show the ability as a speaker to know the audience thought. When you say something, the audience will think, and you know what they will think, and you guide them, you provide the answer. So the speech is really, you speak, and then you evaluate the response, and then you give to them. There's a give, there's a receive, and then there's a give again. So that's a communication in the speech. To me, that is. So you are very savvy in that aspect. The game theory you described, the computer calculation, all that. I didn't totally get it, but I will Google it. But I think if you at the end, you can put some reference at the end that will help me to know where I can go to find more information about it, because it is certainly very interesting calculation to reach that 4 points. Finally, that 4 points, very, very valuable. It is applying to the human being. The speech value itself, it just elevates your speech so much that it is inspiring. It is the human truth you're talking about. So that's the last but most important thing. That's the value of the speech. I really appreciate you putting in that put in that speech and give to us, because I certainly feel I learned a lot and I'm inspired by you. So thank you very much.
Thank you for that evaluation. Next up, we have evaluator Owen for Miss Mia's speech.
Mia delivered a very interesting speech where she drew parallels between the International Peace Corporation in the game and real life corporations. There were many things that Mia did well, but there are also things that Mia could improve on. But first, she used chronological transitions, such as first of all, to organize the speech and let us know when she's going to shift her tone. She also explained things in an understandable manner, like very quickly summing up what the International Peace Corporation was and letting us understand how she was going to compare it to real life. She also used hand gestures to make the speech engaging for the audience. However, Mia could also improve on making eye contact with her audience, which I didn't see a lot of. Mia was also fiddling during the speech, which gives the appearance of nervousness, but she did well to gesture a lot during the speech as well. She could also incorporate more vocal variety. I thought that the speech was a little monotone, and she could use changes in tone, pausing, maybe even asking some rhetorical questions to the audience to make it more engaging. All in all, I thought the speech was very interesting and had an interesting subject, but with more vocal variety, more eye contact, and making conscious decisions to not to use transitions and maybe rhetorical questions, very sentence variety, Mia could very much improve her speaking ability. Thank you, Toastmasters.
Thank you for that. Next, I believe, is the timers report. And that is Jonathan Chen. Yep.
All right, thank you, Tim. So I will start off with the prepared speeches. Eric, okay, so all the prepared speeches have a time of 5 to 7 minutes. Eric had a time of 3:10, Peter 6:12, and Mia had a time of 4:02. And then for the table topics, Mr. Pendergrass, he was at 59 seconds. I'll count it as 1 minute. The second speaker, 41 seconds. Miss Zhang, 142. Tim, you're at 108. Michael at 1 minute. Xavier at 107. Mr. Treat at 222. Mrs. Dancy at 110. And Mr. Taylor at 155. And for the evaluations, Mr. Taylor, you're at 312. Miss Zhang, you're at 305. And Owen, you were at 148. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. And next is the grammarians report, and I believe that is Xavier Taylor.
Thank you, jury evaluator. So first, for Eric, gave a speech. I didn't catch any filler words during that speech, so excellent job. Mr. Eric Tree, I caught one during your table topics. Miss Keisha, I did not catch any filler words. Tim, I caught 2 uhs. Peter, I caught 1 3 ums. Miss Anna, I caught 1 Michael, I caught 1 Mr. Horace Taylor, I caught 6 and 1 Owen, I caught just 2 Johnston, I think at the very end, I think it just caught a slight 1 Mia, during your speech, I only caught 1 So Jason Pendergrass got use of the word of the day, and I also caught 1 and then Quinn, yeah, 7 and 3 Thank you.
And next, I think, is the meeting and leader evaluations. I'm pretty sure the meeting started on time, but we just had a little bit of trouble at the beginning trying to get roles figured out as some people weren't here. But other than that, I'm pretty sure we had no technical issues or anything like that. So overall, it's a pretty good meeting. And I believe that is all. Back to the Toastmaster.
Here you go now. All right. Real quick, some business to take care of. On Thursday evening, I emailed the group regarding the Spring Vendor Business Expo that's this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Burt Ferguson Community Center in Cordova. And we're needing volunteers to help us promote the club, build membership, and just create awareness for our group. Who here would be interested in joining us that morning from 10 a.m. to 2? It'd be a chance to promote the club, obviously, but also build your professional network. And it's a great opportunity to practice your communication skills in a real situation with people that are not in on the class, strangers. So it'd be a good test to see how your communication skills are in a real situation. So who's interested in doing that, and while we have a good time at the same time? I appreciate it.
Did you put the address
I
in the
got you.
email?
Yeah, the address is in the email. If you have any questions, just respond back. But yeah, great. We have a lot of volunteers. That's great. Anybody on the TV want to join us? We'd love to have y'all. Anyway, just let me know.
Xavier said yes.
Oh, great. We look forward to everybody. Awesome. Well, great. We'll see you next Saturday then. We'll be there, like I said, 10 a.m. Thank you.
Next week, roles. Next week's roles, speakers. Hold on, oh, it's easier to get it from my phone.
Yes, I have that. I can do a speech too if you need it.
Okay, so next week is March the 3rd. Speaker 1 is Tim. Speaker number 2 is Peter again.
What?
Quinn, he filled in for you today, so. Wait, so what am I supposed to speak about? It's next project number 2. I don't get it. Like, so like, pick a topic and speak about it? No, you have to go by the project. Project number 2 is Michael has this book, ebook, attached in the agenda.
So. All right, so who would like to take the Toastmaster? Can you hear me? Toastmaster role. If not, I can. All right, Taurus, thank you. Mr. Horace Daly. All right, secondly, who would like to take grammarian? And count our ums, ahs, likes. All right, thank you, Owen. Oh, I should probably be writing down. Taurus. All right, can someone online be timer? Thank you, Xavier. Right, so we have our 2 speakers and so it was to be our table topic semester.
Yeah, I can.
All right, thank you. All right, and lastly, general evaluator. Who would like to be general evaluator? Oh, we need evaluators for each speech. Who would like to evaluate Quinn's speech? I could. I'll evaluate. And then who would like to evaluate? Who is the other person speaking?
Quinn, Tim.
Who would like to evaluate Tim? Can you?
Okay.
All right, and then lastly, who would like to be general evaluator? That's the last one. Everybody's really taking the role. All right.
Or Jonathan, do you want to be the general evaluator?
Yeah, sure, I can take that.
All right, I believe that's all the roles. All right, President, you can see it. Mr. President, you can like end the meeting adjourn the meeting.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming in today. I hope y'all enjoyed this meeting, and we'll see you all. Or for those of you that are going, see you. Yep, Saturday. Yep, Saturday for those of you who are going to the expo event. Yeah, and then on our next meeting too. So with that, the meeting is now adjourned, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye, Anna. Bye. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye, Eric. Bye, Jonathan. Bye, Mr. Pendergrass, Jason. Bye, Miss Tony. Bye, Mia. Bye, Owen. Bye, Tim.